Evening all. Yes, I'm going to be reading from my own work. This could be ascribed to naked shamelessness, really, I suppose. It's more to do with the fact I'm an absolutely terrible reader-outerer of writing-ness stuff. So working on the sound principle that if you're going to massacre somebody's prose, you should really be massacring your own. I thought I'd just read from the very start of the aforesaid Player of Games. But be warned, it is science fiction, so it's got some weird stuff in it. On the other hand, it's only about 3.5 minutes of torture for those of you who hate it that much. This is the story of a man who went far away for a long time just to play a game. The man is a game player called Gurgi. The story starts with a battle that is not a battle and ends with a game that is not a game. Me? I'll tell you about me later. This is how the story begins. Dust drifted with each footstep. He limped across the desert, following the suited figure in front. The gun was quiet in his hands. They must be nearly there. The noise of distant surf boomed through the helmet sound field. They were approaching a tall dune from which they ought to be able to see the coast. Somehow he had survived. He had not expected to. It was bright and hot and dry outside, but inside the suit he was shielded from the sun and the baking air, cosseted and cool. One edge of the helmet visor was dark, but it had taken a hit, and the right leg flexed awkwardly, also damaged, making him limp. But otherwise, he'd been lucky. The last time they'd been attacked had been a kilometre back, and now they were nearly out of range. The flight of missiles cleared the nearest ridge in a glittering arc. He saw them late because of the damaged visor. He thought the missiles had already started firing, but it was only the sunlight reflecting on their sleek bodies. The flight dipped and swung together, like a flock of birds. When they did start firing, it was signaled by strobing red pulses of light. He raised his gun to fire back. The other suited figures in the group had already started firing. Some dived to the dusty desert floor, others dropped to one knee. He was the only one standing. The missiles swerved again, turned all at once, and then splitting up to take different directions. Dust puffed around his feet as shots fell close. He tried to aim at one of the small machines, but they moved startlingly quickly, and the gun felt large and awkward in his hands. His suit chimed over the distant noise of firing and the shouts of other people. Lights winked inside the helmet, detailing the damage. The suit shook, and his right leg went suddenly numb. "Wake up, Gurgi!" Ye laughed alongside him. She swiveled on one knee as two of the small missiles swung suddenly at their section of the group, sensing this was where it was weakest. Gurgi saw the machines coming, but the gun sang wildly in his hands, and he seemed always to be aiming at where the missiles had just been. The two machines darted for the space between him and Ye. One of the missiles flashed once and disintegrated. Ye shouted, exulting. The other missile swung between them. She lashed out with it, with her foot trying to kick it. Gurgi turned awkwardly to fire at it, accidentally scattering fire over Ye's suit as she did so. He heard her cry out and then curse. She staggered but brought the gun round. Fountains of dust burst around the second missile as it turned to face them again, its red pulsed light lighting up his suit and filling his visor with darkness. He felt numb from the neck down and crumpled to the ground. It went very black and very quiet. "You are dead," a crisp little voice informed him. He lay on the unseen desert floor. He could hear distant muffled noises, sense vibrations from the ground. He heard his own heart beat and the ebb and flow of his breath. He tried to hold his breathing and slow his heart, but he was paralyzed, imprisoned, without control. His nose itched. It was impossible to scratch it. "What am I doing here?" he thought. Thank you.